You got to get one. Aaron Rodgers needs to have a guy coming in, and we can say, well, he's a rookie. Can we expect an impact? Look what the guys last year did. Look what Waddle did, Devontae Smith and Luke and Jamar Chase did. Smith and Waddle were phenomenal, and others did pretty well in their first year, going back over the last 5 years as well. So the idea that you can't get impactful performances from a rookie receiver has been proven wrong over the last few seasons.
Shut up and sit down.
No, you go through and obviously you look at each of these guys and there's player evaluation, which needs to be done. Then you start looking at team needs and these other things. As you've covered the Packers over the years, have you found, is there a line, is there a connectivity between Ron Wolf and Ted Thompson and Goody and the philosophy they've had that you identify, that you look for when you start to match up teams and players with Green Bay?
You kind of don't, you really can't do it enough, John, when you're projecting it, because when you're evaluating players, as I do, and Todd does, and Daniel Jeremiah, and like Mayock did, when you're doing what we do and you're trying to cover everybody that's available for the draft, you're not with a specific team. For us, we can't do that. So I can't sit here and talk like I'm, the general manager of the Packers, or try to think like the GM of the Packers or the GM of the Steelers or GM of the Ravens. You can't really think that way when you're doing what we do. Now, when you're saying a mock draft, if you say, like we're talking about, they haven't drafted a receiver since Aaron's been there. Well, this year I think they will. Now, if you go by the trend, you would say, no, they won't. But in terms of evaluating players, that's the one tricky part of what we do. When you're doing it for everybody to try to bring to light all the players available in the draft, you have to do it in a general way. You can't be specific to a team. You can say what systems they fit better to, but that's the tough. And a lot of these players are taken off boards because of medical, if it's a character concern. That's individual teams. I can't take that off the board. Some teams may, and some teams may have a harsher way of looking at players in that regard than I do. But I think what we do is try to provide as much information on the players as possible, knowing that we're not obviously defining a specific team that could be interested in that particular player.
Shut up and sit down.